From the outside, it looks like any other building in a strip mall in Brookville, Ohio. But those who venture inside and down the stairs enter a whole new world, a place where 300 years of a rich faith tradition are on display. They'll encounter a people who have literally changed the world and continue to do marvelous things through their understanding of faith.
We keep a variety of exhibits that represent Brethren tradition, everything from the materials related to our partnership with Africa, Nigeria in particular, the EYN denomination, to furniture from churches, a whole variety of things, quilts that faithful Brethren people have made through the years representing their own traditions and their own faith.
The Brethren Heritage Center is the product of a unique partnership between a dozen church denominations who all share a common starting point in Schwarzenau, Germany in 1708. A mural illustrates the origins of the Brethren tradition, which grew out of a desire to return to the original intent of Christianity.
Each one tried to get back to the faith that was once delivered to the saints, and so this would be the story you would find here, and like we say, each one has a story, and the story always tries to go back to the simple footsteps of Jesus, and that's the reason for preserving this and passing it on to future generations.
What's passed on to those who visit is how that faith tradition has been lived out, through books, through exhibits, and artifacts, through living out the concept of service to others.
We have 2 young girls, so really it's just kind of that service aspect, I think, is something that really attracted us to the church in the beginning, and it still does, because we wanted that strong foundation for our family. You know, for them, this is going to be their history as well. So it's neat to just kind of have that strong foundation, and, you know, to be able to come and actually see that in a physical space is really important for them.
There's information about Brethren missions and the post-World War II response to Europe, which launched Heifer Project, one of the most successful development programs in the world. Also materials about its founder, Brethren church leader Dan West, and others who witnessed to their faith.
This is an excellent place to learn the history of the Brethren and the background and why the Brethren are in many ways unique of all the religions in this country. Good values. The service aspect, the acceptance of all. We have all Brethren don't have exactly the same theology, but very similar. And what is important, we don't disagree on. We agree on all the important things. This is a good place to come and learn about that and see artifacts that support it.
It's also an excellent place for genealogy research. This woman learned that her husband could trace his family history to a longtime Brethren minister and writer who used this desk in his home, a desk that was recently donated to the center.
Well, we've been able to trace your first husband's family back to Elder David Montgomery. He was an old German Baptist elder, and he had a brother, Michael. And in our collection, we have a desk that was Michael's. Your husband's family is from a very long line of Brethren families.
When it comes to genealogy or tracing family, it is a place that people can come and get a lot of information about their ancestors.
And here is Elder David Montgomery's obituary. It's in the Vindicator. Yes.
We have a lot of people coming in here doing genealogy research, and many of them are no longer Brethren, but their ancestors were. So we can fill in a lot of the background, the pieces, to help them understand a little bit about their ancestors and what they believed and how they lived their lives. And it makes their ancestors really more real and come alive, and they can understand them better if they know their faith theology.
Most of what you can see at the Brethren Heritage Center has been donated over the years, periodicals that date back to 1851, nearly all of which are digitized and able to be accessed by computer, but also church documents, historical records, and thousands of books.
We try to keep a good selection of new books here for people to purchase. We keep a large selection of out-of-print books, used books. We take calls from people all the time looking for these books. We do sales over the phone. It's like going to a library, but then you're able to purchase what you find. And Some of them are quite rare that we have for sale.
Sometimes the stories come together in unique ways. A Brethren author from Southern Ohio was in the process of writing the story of a missionary to China, but died before the project was complete.
His wife donated all his research materials on his death to the center, and I was able to start with his notes, do my own research beyond that in the periodicals we have here, the missionary visitors we have here, to pull together the story of Anna E. Lichty, mostly in the words of her husband, and people who knew her. I ended up with this book.
For members of the 12 Brethren church bodies that jointly support the Brethren Heritage Center, there's a world of information here to better understand their own faith tradition.
This is the go-to place to find out about our ancestors and what they believed and how they lived their lives and how they reacted and responded to those around them, the society around them.
But it's also a place where anyone, including those unconnected with the Brethren, can learn about a people whose story is remarkable, who stood for their convictions against the use of violence, against slavery, and for creating a better world.
It's really about preserving a heritage that is filled with faith and filled with hope. And especially in the times that we live today, we need hope, we need joy, we need faith. And I think this is a place that models that. And so I think we're a place of hope for a generation or two where hope is fleeting. And for me, that's the most important reason to come here, is that we're preserving materials, but we're preserving traditions and reminding people what their forebears did and how they lived their lives that were lives of faith and hope and joy.